Well, 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 what have we here? A little bit of playing around with some grayscale Copic markers, I think. I have had these Copic markers for quite a while, but usually I'm a little hesitant to use them because we all know, at least some of us who have ever maybe window shopped or even considered buying Copic markers, even a little bit, we all know how ridiculously expensive these are, and I don't know when or why I bought these. I rarely use them. I don't know, for some reason markers they just don't appeal to me a lot of the time. This one evening, however, they did appeal to me, so I grabbed them and I started using them. What I'm trying to say is I don't use them most of the time. One reason is because I feel like if I use Copic markers to make a drawing, then other people will feel like they need to use Copic markers to make like other cool drawings, and then they'll feel like there's this huge paywall. Like some of these markers they're like 4 or 5, they're multiple dollars per marker, right? That's ridiculous. I've had just as much fun, and I've made videos with just Crayola markers, right? That's cool too. So maybe that's all right. Maybe that's a little bit insulting to assume, look, I know you all are smart enough to make decisions for yourself, to weigh the pros and cons of art supplies, but I don't know. That's just one reason why I don't use them sometimes, and the other reason is maybe I just don't feel like using them most of the time. But this evening when I used them, they were fun. I used about 4 different shades of the cool grays. You can get cool grays, which are a little bit bluer, and warm grays, which are a little bit oranger or redder, and then there are also neutral grays. I think there's also something called a French gray, which might be also one of those. I don't know, I should probably brush up on my different shades of gray, but I use the cool grays here, about 4 different shades of them, to do some little swirly contours on the paper. This is crescent render paper, a sketchbook that I made out of the paper. This paper is a little bit more absorbent than a lot of paper that you might want to normally use with markers, but I used it anyways, and I'm pretty happy with this paper, mostly because nothing bleeds through it. But the cool thing about Copic markers is you can keep on layering it. You draw one little swath with a marker, and then you draw another swath on top of it, and it gets a little bit darker. So it can be maybe a little bit intimidating, depending on the type of it really does. I think markers really does come down to the type of paper you're using more than a lot of other things. It can be a little bit more intimidating doing like coloring in large chunks, because you can see like the brush strokes, like the marker strokes. You can get good at it and get better at covering that up and coloring it in uniformly so it looks good. But it can be difficult right off the bat. But anyways, I started right in the middle. For some reason, these are numbered with odd numbers, just like radio stations. Cool 1, cool 3, 5, 7, 9. I lost cool 1. So I just had 3, 5, 7, and 9. I think I started with a 3 or a 5 at first, and then I would kind of toy around with the extremes, I mean. And then in the middle, I did a bunch of pen work, where I kind of did a bunch of more fine line swirls on top of the blurrier marker swirls. And then after that, near the end of the drawing, I went back in and did a few more touch-ups with some of the lighter markers, and then some of the darker markers, and however I felt was necessary. I didn't plan it out at all. It really is a doodle at heart. And stylistically, or the way I executed this drawing, it really is a doodle. All right, I think that's all. See you guys later. Have fun. Go make something. All right, goodbye.